Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, subscribers, viewers, and the supporters of this channel. How severe is the smoke emission which are being released by the exhaust pipes of diesel engine lorry? That's what we're discussing. Before we go on, my fellow Muslim brothers and sisters, please do not watch this video if you are already in the mosque for the Friday prayer khutbah or attending any religious lessons. Thank you very much. I love you for that. I wish you and all of us Jannatul Naim. Back to this video, we are now evaluating using one criteria, which is severity of impact of an environmental aspect of choice, which is smoke emission, which is emitted from this particular lorry in an activity which is called diesel fuel unloading from lorry tankers to the factories diesel storage tank. This is what we're going to do. Now, let us go into the summarize the chronology as usual. I always remind myself and all my fellow colleagues and staff before this, and all of us remind ourselves what ISO 14001 version 2015 is about. It is a standard that promulgates or stipulates that environmental management system is managing environmental aspects. How? By fulfilling compliance obligations and addressing risk and opportunities. That is the definition of environmental management system as per ISO 14001 version 2015. And what are environmental aspects? They are elements of the organization's activities, products, and services that interact or can interact with the environment, thus causing subsequent environmental impact. Now, I have to implore for those who are about to implement ISO 14001 for the international standard certification. If you are doing it, please begin with this. All right, do not make your environmental policy first, but begin with this. This is called initial environmental review. What is it? It is an audit, a thorough audit on all processes, for all activities, for all sectors or departments within the scope of your certification involving your activities, services, and products. Okay. Now, as far as we are concerned in this video, we have done this. If you have not seen this, please revert back to our old publication, earlier publications where we have got videos on input and output. You will see the thumbnail having input and output. Those are videos on how to identify environmental aspects. Now, where are we right now? We are here. We are evaluating the significance of impact from all our environmental aspects. Why do we do it? Because we need to prioritize our environmental aspects. An organization must understand, must know what sort of environmental aspects that they are dealing with. How is the magnitude of impact to the environment? How is the severity? How is the legal impact, etc. So we do evaluation using certain selected criteria, so-called evaluation criteria, which would eventually tell us how significant. And this criteria is uh, conjuring to environmental conditions and also businesses. Okay, so once we have done that evaluation, we would be able to identify which are our significant environmental aspects, meaning environmental aspects that would cause significant environmental impact. And we tabulate it systematically in a tabulation, and I call it a dashboard. I'll show you up this. And only at this point, a company would understand their position in terms of environmental management. They would now know what to prioritize, what are their responsibility, what are the challenges as far as the types and nature of environmental aspects that they got to manage. Only then, and also of course they would know the sort of the types of the significance of environmental impact that they have caused due to the involvement of all these environmental aspects. All right, now then only we would formulate, the company would formulate what's called environmental policy, having known all those environmental aspects, and then they would determine what would be their environmental objectives and how to achieve those objectives, by having planning to achieve. That's a term used in this standard, which is consisting of targets and EMP, Environmental Management Program. So environmental management program is guiding, is being specified who, do what, when, and how to achieve those targets and complement those environmental objectives. And these targets and EMP is actually the intended outcome. The environmental management program has got to be specific in attaining who, do what, when, and how much, and resources, etc. Right, that intended outcome is stipulated as a term, as what they call some priority in this particular standard, which consists of, whereby it states that in our targets and environmental management program, or even in our policy, we have got to indicate our betterment in terms of environmental performance. The company has got to display commitment towards continual improvement in the environmental performance itself, and also has got to indicate that they are dedicated, they are committed to fulfill compliance obligation, and also has got to indicate and display their effort in attaining to all the environmental objectives. This is basically the picture of ISO 14001 version 2015. It is, well, we could say transparent. It is about environmental due diligence, not just papers. It has got to be evidence that we have achieved, and the planning has got to be evidence, the achievement has got to be evidence. That is ISO 14001 version 2015. Now let's take a look at briefly, where is this smoke emission is as far as the activity unloading of diesel fuel from this particular lorry or tanker to the factory's diesel storage tank. Now, it is one of those environmental aspects, and we have done two before this, which is diesel. We have done that as an input aspect, dirty spill kit as an output aspect, and now we chose smoke emission, which is another output environmental aspect from this process, and their respective and its respective environmental impact, as you could see, is over here, causing air pollution. Now we have to remember one thing. This lorry has departed their respective depot and has burnt from the lorry's tank itself, not the tank for transfer. The lorry has got is filled with diesel, and it is traveling probably over 20 or 50 kilometers from the depot to this particular factory in order to do this work, to transfer the diesel fuel. And it has traveled, by virtue of that, it has traveled transboundary, emitting emissions of diesel combustion from the diesel engine of this lorry all the way from the depot to this particular factory. Bear that in mind. All right, that is where we use life cycle perspective stage. Now, as far as this particular aspects impact register is concerned, this is what I'm showing you, the dashboard. I love this so much because I could see if you are the top management, the stakeholders, or the environmental management reps or managers or head of departments, you are able to see your company, your activity, and other activities in your company are dealing with what sorts of environmental aspects. That is one. Number two, you are able to check how is your aspect in terms of their respective environmental impact is by virtue of the evaluation criteria already done for diesel and dirty spill kit, and which environmental aspects are significant than the rest by virtue of the score. It's all there. And this is an important document if you want to make decisions for the company as far as especially environmental decisions. Okay. Now, and on top of that, we have got risk and opportunities. You got to sit down and think about it and discuss with the operator, the people who are well versed in the process before you get to that. All right. And you need to have a good environmental engineer as well to work with you. And also we have got environmental performance over here for each aspect. Everything is there to complement and to comply to this new standard ISO 14001 version 2015. There you are. So what's missing right now is severity for smoke emission. Now let's take a look of our evaluation criteria's definition. Here we go. Remember, as I said, that this particular transport lorry, which carries diesel fuel from the depot, which is situated elsewhere, but 50 to maybe 100 kilometers away, need to travel from those originating depot to this particular factory to deliver that diesel fuel for the factory. Therefore, it is transboundary. The life cycle of that diesel in the tank doesn't just appear in the factory. It is being brought from somewhere, from the depot. So it is not happening here, not within the originating process. No, it's not localized. All right. And it is also not localized in the context of it appears in the organization premise boundary. In practice, as I said earlier, it is being brought to this particular factory in order to perform diesel transfer. It's not connected by pipes from the depot, from the oil tank terminals, etc. It is being carried via transport lorry, the tanker. There you are. So apparently, the smoke is all the way from the depot. As soon as the diesel engine of the lorry is being ignited, cranked, the smoke is emitted, even though it's colorless, even though it's smokeless, there is smoke emission in terms of probably hydrocarbon, in terms of probably carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide perhaps, and other sort of air impurities, which are due to its low density and low concentration is not so observable to our naked eye. Only a scientific equipment such as, I give an example of the Hartridge smoke meter used by the authorities, and even in Puspacom they use that machine. Of course, it's an updated machine. Only these machines can sort of detect and even measure the opacity of the smoke. All right, so that is why I have the rating at 3. It is literally invisible to the naked. Honestly, I don't see anything. I am able to see some heat waves, as you know, as convection current, heat convection, as you look at your hot exhaust pipes of vehicles, you know, that sort of, convection like current thing is like shades, you know. Or if you look at the hot exhaust pipes of a MotoGP, acropovic, you could see all those heat waves. Now that is where I say it is only observable using special instrumental analysis like the Hartridge smoke meter. So I give a rank 3. I don't use 5 because it's not containable. This is about if it is containable. It is not containable, so no, not recoverable, of course. So 5, 6, 8, and 10 is out of the way. So what we chose is rating 3. So how does it fare in our dashboard? There you are. So we have here the severity of impact, severity of environmental impact as far as the smoke emission from this particular lorry is concerned is given a numeric 3 based on that definition. Okay, so we are now, we have just completed severity of impact for smoke emission from this particular lorry. Okay, all right, so I believe that is for now. That is severity, and we have a few more evaluation criteria for smoke emission is concerned, and in the next video we will have legal environmental impact as a criteria for environmental impact for the aspect smoke emission coming up. So thank you very much, YouTube. Thank you, subscribers, viewers, and supporters of this channel. I appreciate it so much. Until we meet in the next video, I wish everybody safe and healthy, and I wish everybody Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.